So my narcissistic ex put me in the hospital. I'm going to start to share some parts of my story, partially because he, of course, does not want any of this information to get out. This is my first time talking about any of it. I think I'm tired of being quiet. I think I'm tired of not actually speaking up or having a voice. There were no friends that knew what was going on with me. Besides my best friend in Vienna, nobody else knew the gravity of what was taking place behind closed doors. He was able to convince people that I was crazy, that I was quote unquote manifesting, as if I'm manifesting a demon. Because it's quite ironic, somebody who's not educated is running around telling people that I was manifesting, and they actually believed him. Friends, this is kind of the way that it works. They are good at being able to emotionally manipulate other people to believe their story. They're charismatic, they have a draw to them, they're able to tell these stories. I am the one that checked myself into the hospital. I had reached a breaking point and I had become suicidal. And I decided, I had actually called my older sister and I said, I am not okay. And I am not in a good headspace and I need you to come. And she came, and he was incessantly calling and decided to leave work and to come home and to, I'm sure, to confront me or whatever. There had been many situations up to this point where he wouldn't let me leave our apartment. Anytime I tried to leave, especially if there was an argument, he would yank me from the doorway, me trying to leave, and throw me to the ground. He would break down any doors. If I had gone into the bedroom, he would break down the door. If I had gone into the bathroom, he would break down the door. Break it off the hinges. He would throw my clothes over the balcony. He would throw everything of anything of importance to me outside. I had to escape over the balcony at one night and run straight down the sidewalk. There were 3 girls at the end of the sidewalk that were trying to help me, and they asked me if they should call the police. I couldn't let them. I was still convinced that he was just hurting. He had some really tough things happen to him in life. He had told me a lot of false stories. He told me he had been raped by his brother's girlfriend when he was younger. Just told me all these stories of abuse. His dad was cheating. His dad was having affairs. He found underwear in his dad's truck. He said so many crazy different things that I still to this point am unpacking. He would tell me that people were talking about me. He would tell me that his mom was saying these things behind my back. He would say things about his brothers and all this kind of stuff. His middle brother is having affairs. Like, his middle brother was like having an affair with his older brother's ex-wife, and so one of the children is not actually the older brother's children. It's actually the middle brother's child. It's like this whole huge massive thing that was taking place. Like, I'm hearing all these different stories, and I believed him. I really didn't have a reason particularly not to. Why? Because I'm empathetic, because I cared for him, because I was genuinely in the relationship. There were lots of red flags, things screaming at me, don't do this, run away from this. But I continued to stay, even in the midst of all this. So as soon as I checked myself into the hospital, he was calling my older sister. He was threatening her, telling her he was going to come up to the hospital and beat down the door and beat up the cops, because I told him that there were police at the hospital and they weren't going to let him in. This was during COVID, so thank goodness. And he tried to he was going to break down the door, and I told him the police were there, and he's like, I will beat their fucking ass. And he was like, you're my wife. He kept screaming that, like, basically I'm his property, and there was nothing that he was going to do, nothing that I was going to be able to do to stop that. I knew when I left the house that morning, our apartment that morning, that I needed to go somewhere, and I didn't know what that actually meant. I didn't know, I just didn't feel safe. I don't even think I realized the gravity of the unsafeness until I actually got to the hospital where they check you in. And I started to feel like, I was still fighting for my marriage in my mind, but with the erratic behavior and the responses from other people and like the nursing staff. And this is the thing, is with my background in mental health therapy and counseling, you think I would have gotten it. You think I would have seen it. I think there's this sense too with people that are in helping type careers. You want to help other people, and you become sort of addicted to the helping, maybe. There is this confusion that kind of takes place when the person's not helping themselves. You're like, well, if I continue to kind of keep helping, they will eventually help themselves, right? There's so many intricate pieces to all of this. I'm not going to be able to explain it all, especially not in one sitting. But I did check myself into a place, and I needed things to cool down on the outside, and they didn't. They didn't cool down on the outside, but I think that was my saving grace to have actually gone behind four walls that basically were locked down. COVID, there were no visitors. There was none of that. So I was able to actually be inside of a place where I actually felt safe. And I couldn't even tell them that I was being abused. Like I couldn't say that. I couldn't admit it, because it's a reflection of me. It's a reflection of me that I've okayed abuse, that I would accept this. Are you kidding me? I have self-respect. I would never let somebody abuse me. Progressively got worse. And he bought a gun. He bought a gun the very next day that I went into the hospital. And he started telling everybody that he bought a gun because I was trying to kill him, and I was trying to kill his daughters, who are precious and amazing little girls and do not deserve any of that at all. But yet they have to continue to endure the quote-unquote fatherly figure, which he is not. He is absolutely not. He used them to try to draw me in. He uses them to try to gain attention. It's to make himself look stable, and he's actually not stable at all. But people believed him. Friends left me, abandoned me, and they told me, you know what, you need to focus on yourself. When I got out of the hospital, you need to focus on yourself. It was a very, very confusing time. So that's just the first part of this story.